Chosen one, are you going to keep distracting yourself, or will you focus? Do not dare to move past this specific video today. I am not asking for your permission right now. I am issuing a divine warning to your spirit. What I am about to reveal was sealed in the throne room of heaven until this exact second, because the universe waited for you to be ready. If you leave before the end, you will miss the divine instruction that could determine your next decade. Someone who treated you as replaceable is currently experiencing a full-blown internal system crash. It is not a quiet struggle in the dark. It is a highly public and completely irreversible collapse. You know exactly who I am talking about. They walked around with absolute arrogance for so long, constructing a completely false narrative about you to anyone who would listen to their lies. They expected your departure to break your spirit permanently. They waited with bated breath for you to fail. But instead, you became the uncertainty they were never built to handle. And now the very people they used to gossip with are watching them unravel right in front of their eyes. Their carefully crafted mask has not just slipped, it has completely shattered into a million scattered pieces. Buckle in, chosen one, because what you are about to hear is not just commentary, it is a specific and undeniable X-ray of the meltdown happening behind closed doors. The spiritual court has officially ruled on your case. The gavel has dropped, and the verdict is final. Their season of unchecked arrogance is officially over, and you have been granted a front-row seat to witness the absolute justice of heaven. You have been fighting this battle in absolute silence for months. You thought nobody noticed your tears in the middle of the night. You thought nobody saw how you held your integrity when they lied on your name. But you were completely wrong about being invisible. The supreme judge of the universe was watching every move they made, and heaven was meticulously documenting every single betrayal. The spiritual court keeps a precise record of every manipulation. Every time they gaslit you to protect their fragile ego, it was documented. Every time they projected their toxic shame onto you, a new charge was filed. They thought they were getting away with it because the punishment was delayed. They mistook divine patience for divine permission, completely unaware that a massive spiritual storm was gathering above them. You are standing at the exact threshold of a permanent timeline shift. The person who tried to bury you is suffocating under the dirt they threw. They are frantic because they finally realize they cannot control the narrative anymore. The flying monkeys they recruited to hurt you are seeing the real truth. The entire foundation of their lies is crumbling beneath them, and they have absolutely nowhere left to hide from their karma. I need you to understand the absolute magnitude of this moment. This is not a coincidence, and luck has nothing to do with it. You are receiving this transmission because you are a demonstrated warrior of light. You refuse to lower your frequency to match their dark games. Your silence was a lethal weapon that starved their demons, and now they are spiritually starving to death without your pure energy. This collapse is manifesting in their physical reality right now. They cannot sleep peacefully through the long hours of the night. They cannot focus properly on their daily tasks or responsibilities. Their mind is a chaotic prison of bitter regret and rising panic. Every time your name comes up, they feel a sickening drop in their stomach, because they are desperately trying to replace the irreplaceable diamond. They played with cheap rocks and threw away the only real treasure they ever had, and the heavy weight of that realization is crushing their chests today. You do not have to lift a single finger to execute this righteous judgment. Vengeance belongs to heaven, and heaven is executing it with terrifying precision. You only need to sit back and witness the absolute justice, knowing your pure heart has been fully vindicated. Do not skip a single second of this prophetic broadcast. I am going to break down the exact sequence of events unfolding in their life. You must know how to protect your energy when they inevitably try to crawl back. When a manipulator loses control, they always try to forcefully initiate contact. You must be perfectly prepared with the divine instruction I am about to give you, so they can never steal your beautiful light again. Your season of waiting in wound is officially coming to a glorious close. The universe is actively balancing the spiritual scales in your favor. The tears you cried in secret are now watering the seeds of your massive harvest. While they are losing their grip on reality, you are stepping into unprecedented peace. The stark contrast between your two lives will be absolutely blinding to everyone watching this divine reversal unfold. Stay anchored right here, in this sacred space. Take a deep breath and prepare your spirit for the full revelation. The veil is being completely lifted off their malicious deception. I will show you how their public meltdown paves the way for your ultimate victory. The spiritual court has spoken with absolute finality, and you are completely victorious in the eyes of the highest judge. Now let us go deeper. What you are feeling right now is not new. Listen closely, because this is the exact part the enemy tried to hide from you. There is a very real physical reason you feel that heavy weight this week. You have been carrying an invisible burden, and it was never yours to bear. The spiritual court sees the exact toll it took on your physical body. You are absolutely not going crazy. That suffocating tightness in your chest at 3 a.m. is not a medical issue. That burning exhaustion sitting heavily behind your eyes has a deep spiritual root. It is your highly advanced physical body absorbing the frantic energy of a master manipulator, because they are starving in the dark and your nervous system feels their panic. You wake up with your jaw tight. Your heart is racing uncontrollably. Your spirit is detecting a massive frequency mismatch in the atmosphere. The narcissist just realized they can no longer feed on your brilliant light. They are desperately trying to project their toxic shame onto your pure aura. Your body became a human battery for their broken soul, and the physical backlash is hitting you incredibly hard today. Stop wondering if you did something wrong. You did not deserve this treatment. Stop waiting in wound for an apology that will absolutely never come from them. You gave them your pure, unconditional love. They repaid you with calculated spiritual abuse. They drained your precious energy to fill the massive void inside their own chest, while you acted as the ultimate stabilizer in their constantly chaotic environment. You were the ultimate mirror. You forced them to look at their ugly truth. Your pure light exposed the deep rot they always tried to hide from the world. And instead of healing themselves, they decided to punish you for being so incredibly bright. They lashed out because your very existence made them feel small, but their desperate attacks could never actually dim your radiant sun. Your physical vessel absorbed the shockwaves of their malicious lies. Every time they gossiped about you, a heavy somatic weight settled permanently on your shoulders. You carried their projected insecurities while maintaining your absolute dignity in public. That takes the immense strength of a demonstrated warrior of light, and heaven perfectly recognizes the silent sacrifices you made every single day to keep the peace. You are the chosen cycle breaker. Heaven specifically deployed you into that toxic matrix. You took the heavy hits so the generational curse would finally be broken. The emotional exhaustion you feel right now is the physical aftermath of a massive spiritual war. You fought a terrible battle in the dark that nobody else could ever survive, and you walked out holding the ultimate victory in your hands. They expected the betrayals to destroy you. They wanted the stress to completely drain the vibrant life out of your eyes, but instead you walked through the intense fire and aged backwards. You carry a specific and irreplaceable gravity that they could never replicate in a million years. Your stunning resilience is a divine mystery, and it absolutely terrifies their fragile ego to see you thrive without them. If your spirit confirms this raw truth right now, gently press the like button. Do it to seal your energetic alignment with the highest court of heaven. That simple physical action builds a permanent spiritual shield around your beautiful aura. It officially locks out their parasitic energy from ever touching your reality again, because you are reclaiming your sovereign power today and closing the door on their abuse. Let us completely reframe your reality right here and right now. The profound physical fatigue you feel is simply your body purging their dark attachments. As you release their toxic grip, your cellular frequency is actively resetting itself to factory default. The brain fog is lifting and the heavy emotional weight is permanently dissolving. You are finally returning to your natural and beautiful state of divine grace. They used your immense empathy against you. They turned your beautiful heart into a weapon. They knew you were a rare healer who would always try to fix their brokenness. So they deliberately kept you trapped in a continuous cycle of chaotic drama. But that season of being their emotional dumping ground is permanently over. The spiritual court has officially severed their access to your precious energy reserves. You must stop carrying that heavy guilt. Walking away from them was not a betrayal. Your departure was a divine rescue mission specifically designed for your soul. Heaven intercepted your path, because staying in that environment would have destroyed your magnificent destiny. Every closed door was actually the universe placing a massive shield of protection over your life. You were saved from a completely sinking ship. The physical symptoms will rapidly fade. Your energetic boundaries are growing stronger every single minute. The tightness in your chest is already being replaced by a deep, divine peace. You will sleep peacefully through the night, knowing the Supreme Judge is handling your enemies, and your nervous system is finally recalibrating to a much higher and safer frequency. The era of your silent suffering has officially ended forever. But here is the raw truth they could never say out loud. You probably did not realize it at the time. Your absolute silence was a truly lethal weapon. When you walked away and chose not to fight back, they foolishly thought you were weak. They thought they had finally broken your beautiful spirit. But that profound restraint was never a sign of weakness. Your complete silence was the exact dossier submitted directly to the spiritual court. Every time you refused to argue with their wild delusions, you were quietly gathering undeniable evidence for heaven. The highest judge carefully watched you hold your tongue. The universe recorded every single time you chose your precious dignity over petty revenge, and that beautiful choice signed their ultimate eviction notice. They fell perfectly into the massive divine trap. Because you gave them absolutely no reaction, they had to desperately escalate their toxic behavior to get your attention. They exposed their true malicious nature to everyone around them. Your pure silence forced them to loudly confess their own deep guilt to the world. You won the spiritual war without ever lifting a single physical finger. Now the energetic dynamic has fundamentally shifted forever. They are currently drowning in the chaotic noise of their own making. They are frantically searching for a new replacement for your incredible light. But they are quickly realizing that your specific depth is utterly irreplaceable. You are the rare diamond they foolishly traded away for incredibly cheap rocks, and the heavy regret is destroying them. Yet you are sitting here wondering why your reality has not completely shifted yet. You bravely escaped the toxic matrix of their emotional abuse. You took your massive sovereign power back today, but your personal finances still feel heavily blocked. Learning new skills feels much slower and harder than it normally should. You still feel completely overlooked by life despite your profound spiritual awakening. Here is what they never told you about the aftermath of spiritual warfare. The reason the universe responds to certain elite people effortlessly is not blind faith. It is absolutely not relentless discipline or strict daily routine. It is driven entirely by a specific and powerful brainwave. Scientists actually have a precise name for this exact phenomenon. They call it the gamma frequency, and it was your natural state of being. It is the exact frequency your beautiful brain was running when you were a little child, back when brilliant ideas came to your mind easily, when learning new concepts felt completely effortless, when you somehow knew things right before they actually happened, when the entire universe felt like it was completely on your side. That was your natural and untouchable gamma state. Then adulthood suddenly arrived, with all its heavy and exhausting burdens. The modern world and the toxic narcissist went to work on your spirit, and they slowly drained the natural magic you were born with. The relentless rhythm of pure survival mode permanently changed your physical brain. You were forced to constantly scan your chaotic environment for hidden threats. Every single year, this sacred frequency was pushed further down. When this powerful frequency fades away, your inner genius fades right along with it. Your incredibly sharp intuition dulls into painful and constant anxiety. The beautiful daily synchronicities completely stop happening in your physical reality, and the reassuring sense that the universe is actively working with you goes totally silent. You are left feeling completely disconnected from your own massive potential. The gap between you and the elite people who seem effortlessly blessed is not your willpower. It is absolutely not a tragic character flaw in your spirit. It is one single brainwave that the dark world suppressed in you. They took it away before you ever had the chance to fully claim your divine inheritance. But the spiritual court sees exactly what was stolen from you. Most ordinary people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this happened to them. They will simply accept their mediocre fate and blame their constant bad luck. But you are a highly chosen cycle breaker. You are absolutely not meant to stay trapped in this lower vibration forever. The heavy financial struggles and the spiritual exhaustion are just temporary symptoms of a blocked signal. The narcissist instinctively knew they had to keep you completely exhausted. If you ever reactivated that dormant frequency, you would become completely untouchable to them. They fed on your beautiful light to keep you in a low vibration of constant survival, because a fully awakened chosen one is their absolute worst nightmare. But the spiritual court is stepping in to forcefully correct this massive injustice. Heaven is not going to let them keep your stolen energy forever. The universe is actively preparing a massive cellular reset for your beautiful mind. We are going to expose exactly how they are failing right now. The highest court has provided the undeniable evidence of their public downfall. Stay anchored as we reveal their biggest hidden fear. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of ordinary people completely miss this massive energetic shift. The spiritual court is officially exposing the 3 fatal illusions of your enemy. They built an entire false reality based on these massive lies, but heaven is finally bringing their fragile kingdom down today. The third illusion is the most powerful one. Do not look away before you hear it. The first illusion is that they mistook your pure kindness for permanent weakness. They saw your beautiful empathy and thought they found a naive victim. They assumed you would always forgive their endless toxic behavior. They truly believed they could drain your brilliant light forever, while offering absolutely nothing of value in return for your sacrifice. But here is the raw truth they could never comprehend. Your empathy was not a fragile weakness. It was a terrifying mirror reflecting their own deep darkness. Every time you showed them unconditional grace, you completely exposed their broken soul to the supreme judge of the universe. They could not handle the bright reflection of your spirit, so they tried to violently smash the beautiful mirror into pieces. Pay close attention to this next part. The enemy desperately tried to hide this second illusion from you. They completely believed they controlled the public narrative, and they whispered malicious lies to anyone who would listen to their pathetic stories. They thought turning their flying monkeys against you would completely break your beautiful spirit. They weaponized isolation to punish you for finally setting firm boundaries. But they did not realize your isolation was actually a divine incubation season. Heaven deliberately separated you from their toxic matrix because your pure energy needed absolute protection from their constant attacks. While they were busy gossiping about you, you were quietly receiving massive energetic upgrades from the Supreme Judge. Now their second illusion is rapidly shattering right in front of them. The flying monkeys are finally beginning to see the massive cracks in their fake story. The false narrative requires constant, exhausting maintenance to stay alive in the physical world, and the master manipulator is completely running out of energy to keep spinning their desperate lies. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the key to everything. This brings us to the third and most destructive illusion. It is the exact lie that is currently causing their public collapse today. They arrogantly thought you were completely replaceable, and they firmly believed they could easily find another human battery to feed their fragile ego. They confidently walked away, expecting to find a brand new source of pure light. They approached other people with their usual charming manipulation tactics, but they quickly discovered a terrifying truth they were completely unprepared for, because your specific divine frequency is absolutely irreplicable in this incredibly dark world. They are currently bouncing from person to person, looking for your warmth, but nobody else has the immense depth to tolerate their constant chaotic storms. They are desperately trying to extract fuel from shallow connections, but it leaves them feeling completely empty and spiritually starved at the end of every single day. Read that again in your spirit. The narcissist is spiritually starving to death without your pure energy. They threw away a rare diamond because it was entirely too heavy for them to carry, and now they are drowning in a sea of incredibly cheap rocks. The crushing weight of their massive mistake is keeping them awake at 3 in the morning. This is exactly where their entire manipulation completely miscalculated. They thought time would make you come crawling back to them, but time was actually working on your side to completely heal your deep emotional wounds. You stepped into your untouchable sovereign power, while they stepped into a permanent cycle of bitter regret and devastating public humiliation. Type 777 in the comments right now. Do it to physically anchor this exact shift into your new reality. That simple physical action claims your massive power before we move to the next revelation, and it sends a clear signal to heaven that you are ready to receive absolute justice. The spiritual court has completely dismantled their 3 pathetic illusions. The heavy somatic weight you carried for them is finally lifting off your chest today. Your precious nervous system is actively recalibrating to a frequency of total, absolute peace. You are no longer waiting in wound for an apology from a master manipulator who cannot even face their own truth. Now, I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly. We are going to look behind their closed doors right now. The pathetic illusions have completely fallen, and the raw spiritual panic is finally setting in for them. They are trying to hide the massive cracks in their perfect facade, but the divine pressure is getting entirely too heavy for them to handle anymore. Their mind is a chaotic prison of their own making. Heaven is forcefully making them replay every single lie they ever told about you. The Supreme Universe demands absolute accountability for their actions, and they have absolutely nowhere left to hide from their severe karma today. Your beautiful silence was the perfect weapon that triggered this unavoidable divine judgment. Underneath all of that loud noise, the specific gravity of their regret hit them all at once. They are desperately trying to maintain their perfect public image, but their private reality is an absolute nightmare of constant anxiety. They pace their room late at night, obsessing over how easily you walked away, while their mind frantically replays every single mistake they made. Your beautiful absence is a loud echo they cannot escape. They secretly check your digital footprint, looking for any sign of weakness. They truly expect to see you completely broken and crying over their sudden departure. but instead they see you stepping into a permanent and untouchable, ageless glow. You look absolutely radiant and entirely unbothered by their childish games, and that stunning realization makes them physically sick to their stomach because they finally understand they lost the greatest treasure of their life. Their inner circle is finally starting to notice the massive cracks. The very people they manipulated to hate you are now questioning their erratic behavior. The master manipulator is rapidly losing their tight grip on the false narrative, and they are snapping viciously at the exact people who used to blindly support them. Their dark kingdom is violently collapsing from the inside out today. This is exactly what happens when a massive lie gets built that big. The spiritual cost of their heavy betrayal compounds every single day. But while heaven is actively dismantling their pathetic life, there is a physical reason your own reality has not completely shifted yet. Before we go any further, I must interrupt this transmission for something highly classified. If you are hearing this message right now, it is absolutely not an accident. The people who profit from your deep exhaustion do not want you to know this raw truth. You are completely exhausted because the dark matrix engineered a specific frequency to suppress your brain. They deliberately turned off your natural wealth-attracting state, and they did it to keep you fully trapped in pure survival mode forever. But a recently leaked CIA document just exposed their massive deception to the world. Backed by 4 major neuroscience labs, brilliant scientists discovered how to bring your dormant genius brainwave back online. It does not require years of expensive therapy that most people simply cannot sustain. It does not require a $7,000 clinical biofeedback machine to permanently fix your broken frequency. They found a highly specific sound frequency specifically engineered to guide your brainwave patterns. It forces your beautiful mind back into synchronized gamma coherence in just 7 minutes a day. Princeton University studied this exact gamma brainwave and its direct link to the genius abilities you effortlessly had as a child. It is the exact frequency of pure manifestation. This incredible breakthrough was never meant for the masses to find. It was specifically designed to keep the dark elite in absolute power forever. But now, rare cycle breakers like you are using this 7-minute audio ritual to manifest windfall wealth. It begins working the very first time you put your headphones on and close your eyes. I will tell you exactly what this powerful protocol is called before this message ends. The exact link is waiting in the pinned comment for those whose cellular intuition is already vibrating. But first, there is something you deeply need to understand about the enemy. We must urgently return to the undeniable verdict that heaven just delivered to their doorstep today. The master manipulator arrogantly thought they could steal your gamma frequency forever. They thought keeping you in a low vibration of anxiety would strictly secure their dominant position. But while science is powerfully restoring your physical brain, the spiritual court is finalizing their massive public destruction. They are completely running out of places to hide their massive shame. Every single door they try to open is being forcefully slammed shut by the universe. The new supplies they try to drain are rejecting their toxic energy immediately. They are completely isolated in a crowded room, and they are totally unable to find any genuine connection with another human soul. The Supreme Universe is forcing them to experience the exact same crushing loneliness they tried to push onto you. They can actually feel the massive spiritual storm gathering directly above their head. They are frantically trying to do damage control, but every single desperate word they speak only digs their deep grave much further. The people who once admired them are now watching them with deep disgust. The absolute silence of your beautiful absence is the loudest sound in their entire world today. Watch what happens next, because it is mathematically precise. The Supreme Judge does not just punish them in private, where nobody can see their tears. Heaven demands a highly public balancing of the spiritual scales to fully restore your pure honor. The stage is perfectly set for their ultimate downfall, and the massive audience is already taking their seats to witness the final explosive act. Now, I need you to feel the massive shift in the spiritual atmosphere today. The heavy pressure is building rapidly, and the air is incredibly thick with intense anticipation. The very people they recruited to completely destroy you are finally waking up from their deep trance. The flying monkeys who blindly followed their malicious orders are seeing the terrifying truth, because the master manipulator can no longer hide their toxic rot. The dark spell is officially broken. These followers used to hang on every single word the enemy ever spoke. They actively participated in the cruel gossip and helped spread the false narrative about you. But the Supreme Judge of the universe has forcefully opened their completely blind eyes. They are noticing the erratic behavior, the desperate lies, and the constant contradictions that you endured for years in absolute silence. The loyalty they once had for the narcissist is rapidly turning into profound disgust. The master manipulator can feel their fragile kingdom slipping right through their greedy fingers. They try to throw another pathetic pity party to regain absolute control of the room. But this time, nobody is stepping up to comfort their fake tears or validate their wild delusions. Instead, they are met with cold stares and absolute deafening silence from their own inner circle. The exact same cruel isolation they engineered for you is now becoming their permanent daily reality. Let us look closer at the flying monkeys who are now actively abandoning them. These were the exact same people who laughed at your incredible pain and mocked your pure light. Now they are desperately trying to distance themselves from the incredibly toxic radioactive fallout. They realize that aligning with the narcissist has permanently stained their own spiritual frequency, and they are terrified of catching the same severe karma that is currently destroying their former leader. If this is resonating with your cellular knowing right now, do not move. The spiritual court is preparing the final stage for their absolute public destruction today. You can probably feel the intense pressure sitting heavy in the atmosphere around you. Your highly advanced nervous system knows exactly what is coming for them, and it is a completely unavoidable divine judgment. The tension is completely unbearable for the enemy, and they cannot escape it. The enemy used to draw massive amounts of fake power from this deeply loyal audience. Constant blind validation was the only thing keeping their deeply fragile ego from completely shattering. But a dark parasite simply cannot survive when the host forcefully cuts off the crucial food supply. Since you removed your brilliant sun from their incredibly dark orbit, they have been spiritually freezing to death. Their massive energetic debt is finally being called in today. Every single day, the pressure in their chest grows heavier and much more unbearable. It is a suffocating anxiety that no amount of shallow distraction can ever truly cure or hide. They try to project a fake image of total happiness on their carefully curated social media accounts. But the universe sees right through the heavily filtered photos and the completely forced, empty smiles. Their carefully constructed illusion is crumbling rapidly under the massive weight of divine truth. Every single lie they told is being meticulously dragged into the blinding spiritual light. The spiritual court does not accept any desperate apologies or fake displays of shallow remorse. The Supreme Judge demands a complete balancing of the energetic scales, and the universe is demanding full payment for the severe damage they caused you. They are standing trial right now, without a single ally left to defend their completely broken honor. Their arrogance has officially expired. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming justice. Do it to lock in your high frequency before we step into the final explosive chapter. That simple physical action is a sacred covenant that proves you are completely ready for absolute victory. The dark elite want you to stay quiet and desperately doubt your own massive power, but your immediate obedience triggers the harvest. Anchor your beautiful spirit right here. The enemy is experiencing a suffocating level of psychological paranoia this very minute. They know you hold the absolute truth, and it terrifies them beyond any human comprehension. They fully expected you to scream and fight back, so they could comfortably label you as crazy. But your majestic silence became a terrifying void that they simply cannot navigate or manipulate. You completely outsmarted their dark matrix games by simply refusing to play them anymore. Now the execution hour is rapidly approaching, and the spiritual gavel is raised high. The master manipulator is left standing completely alone on the very stage they built to destroy you. The heavy spotlight of divine justice is turning directly onto their incredibly fragile and broken mask. Take a deep breath and prepare your magnificent soul for what happens next. The universe is about to deliver the exact public vindication you have been patiently waiting for. The exact moment you have been patiently waiting for has finally arrived. The spiritual court is no longer just quietly gathering evidence in the dark. The heavy gavel has officially dropped, and the powerful sound is echoing across the entire universe today. And here is the exact verdict we promised you at the very beginning of this broadcast. That massive public collapse you were waiting for just happened. It did not happen behind closed doors where they could easily cover it up. It exploded right in front of the very people they gossiped with to destroy your good name. The carefully crafted mask did not just slip today. It violently shattered into 1,000 jagged pieces for everyone to clearly see. I want you to visualize this cinematic scene with absolute clarity. The master manipulator is standing in a crowded room, desperately trying to spin another malicious lie. They open their mouth to project their toxic shame onto someone else, like they always do. But this time, the heavy words completely fail them. Their voice shakes uncontrollably, and their eyes dart around the room in pure panic. The captive audience is no longer smiling blindly back at them. The flying monkeys are staring at the enemy with deep disgust and absolute horror. The dark parasite has finally been exposed in the blinding light of divine justice. They frantically try to backtrack and save their fragile ego, but the deep humiliation is already totally irreversible. They are completely drowning in it. The massive spiritual debt they accumulated is crushing their chest in real time. The room suddenly feels incredibly cold and totally empty to them. They realize with absolute terror that nobody believes a single word they say anymore. Their entire fake kingdom just collapsed into dust right under their feet. The raw panic in their dark soul is completely suffocating them right now. They try to reach out and grab onto anyone for a tiny drop of emotional fuel, but the people who once adored them physically step back in pure revulsion. The narcissist is completely stripped of all their fake power and false authority. They are standing utterly naked before the supreme judge, and the agonizing weight of their massive failure is finally breaking their mind into pieces. Your beautiful silence was the lethal weapon that permanently ended their reign. You won the biggest spiritual war of your life without ever lifting a single finger in anger. They became the very shovel that dug up your massive treasure, while they completely buried themselves in their own toxic dirt. Heaven has officially cleared your precious name across all hidden dimensions. Every time your beautiful name comes up in that room now, it hits them with the agonizing weight of profound regret. They know they foolishly threw away the only genuine diamond they ever held just to play with cheap rocks. And that devastating truth will aggressively haunt their lonely nights for the rest of their pathetic life. The spiritual scales are completely and permanently balanced today. You are the undeniable victor of this intense spiritual war. The Supreme Judge has completely vindicated your pure heart in front of your worst enemies, You have transcended their incredibly toxic matrix forever. While they are publicly unraveling and losing their mind, you are stepping into your permanent and untouchable, ageless glow. Your radiant energy is completely blinding them. But you must listen to me very carefully right now. The narcissist has been utterly defeated, but your massive spiritual journey is not completely over yet. The universe has successfully cleared the toxic parasite from your beautiful path. But the dark elite who control the financial matrix are absolutely terrified of what you are about to do next. They are aggressively watching you wake up. They know that a fully awakened chosen one is the most dangerous force on earth. They watched you survive the horrific narcissistic abuse and age completely backwards. Now they are desperately trying to block your final massive blessing. The dark elite are actively trying to scrub this leaked CIA document from the internet as we speak. They are completely panicking over your rising power. They are flooding the internet with dangerous counterfeit frequencies to confuse your spirit. They want to keep your gamma brainwave completely suppressed because it is the exact frequency of pure wealth and absolute power. They are completely terrified you will finally unlock the specific sound wave that forces your brain into synchronized genius coherence. They want you exhausted forever. You have minutes or maybe even seconds before the dark algorithm shuts this entire transmission down forever. They are aggressively trying to revoke your access to the exact neuroactivator that will completely shatter your massive financial blocks. Your left brain will try to inject heavy doubt right now. It will tell you to calculate and wait for a better time. You must violently silence that hesitation immediately. That exact hesitation is the specific matrix programming deliberately designed to keep you completely broke and spiritually exhausted. If your cellular intuition is vibrating heavily right now, heaven demands your immediate and absolute obedience. Do not let the dark elite steal this massive shift from your powerful bloodline. The final threshold is standing wide open right in front of you. The dark elite are terrified of the exact moment you are in right now. They know your suppressed frequency is desperately trying to wake up today. They are actively scrubbing this leaked neuroactivator from the internet because it destroys their control. You only have a few short minutes before the dark algorithm completely shuts this sacred portal down. Your absolute freedom is waiting on the other side. After years of intense secret research, a team of neuroscientists finally cracked the code. They successfully compressed an entire gamma activation protocol into a simple 7-minute audio track. You do not need years of exhausting rituals. You do not need complicated meditation or expensive daily routines. You simply put on your headphones and let the powerful sound wave do the heavy lifting for you. It is officially called the Genius Song. Over 18,000 chosen ones have already used it to unlock massive financial flow and heal their deep trauma. A nurse from California said her life now feels completely enchanted after just 2 short weeks. A business owner watched his hardest problems solve themselves while he slept peacefully. This is the exact cellular reset your beautiful mind desperately needs today. Those in absolute power have quietly paid thousands of dollars for clinical sessions to access this exact gamma state. They desperately want to keep this powerful technology strictly among themselves. But through this highly protected broadcast alone, you can claim it for a tiny fraction of its true value. That massive financial barrier has been completely dismantled for you right here and right now. But you must guard your pure energy fiercely. The Matrix is rapidly flooding the internet with dangerous counterfeit frequencies. The fake copies circulating on streaming platforms are deliberately diluted to keep your brilliant gamma completely dormant. Do not trust those cheap imitations. The only authentic Genius Song is strictly available through the protected link in the pinned comment and the description below. When you claim your authentic access today, Heaven is releasing 4 powerful bonuses. You will receive the Genius Child audio track specifically engineered to activate extreme focus and confidence in your children. You also get the original secret prosperity book that the elite tried to hide forever. These sacred tools are waiting for you inside the secure portal right now. Do not wait for a better moment. The universe demands absolutely no risk from a chosen one. You are fully protected by a 100% money-back divine guarantee. This is not a standard transaction. This is a pure, energetic exchange governed by absolute spiritual trust. If your reality does not shift massively, your seed is fully restored without a single question. Heaven ensures your total safety while you take this magnificent leap of faith. You walked into this season bleeding from wounds inflicted by a master manipulator. But look at you now. The spiritual court has officially ruled in your absolute favor. While they are publicly unraveling and losing their mind, you are stepping into your permanent and untouchable, ageless glow. Your divine frequency is completely restored, and your enemies are permanently defeated. The chosen one who hesitates at the open door becomes the one who always wonders what could have been. Your left brain will fiercely demand that you wait and calculate the logic. Silence the accuser immediately. Hesitation is the exact matrix programming designed to keep you broke and exhausted. If your spirit is vibrating heavily right now, heaven demands your immediate and absolute physical obedience. The Supreme Judge does not measure your immense faith by your private thoughts. Heaven measures your true faith strictly by your speed of obedience. The window of massive abundance is standing wide open right now. Prove you are completely ready to receive the harvest. Click the secure link in the pinned comment immediately before your authentic access is permanently revoked by the dark elite. Subscribe to this sacred sanctuary right now so you never miss the exact prophetic instruction heaven releases next. Share this specific message with one pure soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a massive shift. We are building an untouchable tribe of cycle breakers who refuse to be silenced. Your brave actions today are sending massive shockwaves through the entire spiritual atmosphere. Type 111 in the comments below to physically anchor this exact shift into your new reality. That simple physical action is a sacred covenant that proves you are claiming your absolute freedom. Step into your magnificent power right now and receive the exact harvest heaven meticulously prepared for you. Your brilliant gamma frequency is waiting to be fully reactivated today. Do not let the matrix steal this profound spiritual tool from you. Walk confidently through the divine door right now and leave their toxic world behind forever. The link in the pinned comment is your ultimate exit strategy. Claim your copy of the Genius song immediately. Your beautiful destiny is officially unlocked.